statistics subject here in Wollongong. And we basically run the same assessment since we created this subject in 2018. But each year we run it using the current year's data, so that students who've done the subject in the previous year still have to do the assignment again with the new data. So it can be quite rare to find a data set that is both realistic enough to qualify as an authentic data experience, but is also simple enough to tackle for first year students. And our students in particular, this assignment is due in week 5. So they've basically only had about 3 weeks of stats before they start this assignment, assuming that they're going to start it on time. Some of them wait until week 5, of course, to start it, but that happens, I guess. So that's where this Citi Bike data set, I think, is really useful, particularly for other people wanting to teach data analysis, not even necessarily at a first year level, but that's in fact what I do. And an aspect of this real or authentic part of the data is that there should also be a context for that data that is a real world context that the students should have to understand in order to be able to do this assessment. And there should be a research question that can be answered with that data. So that's a lot of requirements for finding a suitable data set. This paper by Grimshaw has some other examples. And this Citi Bike is another one. So part of this assessment, and something that I think is quite important, is that we do get the students to do a little bit of data cleaning. Now, data cleaning and missing data can be an advanced statistics subject in itself. And so this is another part of the data set where you want to have a little bit goes a long way in first year, because what you're really aiming to do is to expose these students to the full end-to-end data analysis workflow, but not needing to dive super deep into any specific stage of that. So we also have them read in the data and analyze it using statistical software. In this subject, we don't use R. At the moment, we use SPSS. And potentially in the future, we'll be switching over to using Jamovi, which does run on top of R. So it has R under the hood, but it is still more of a point and click type of analysis interface that doesn't require programming. And the reason that we do that is because all of our first year students have an entire subject where they learn Python programming. And so we don't really want to be taking up any of our statistics subject, teaching them another programming language in their first year of their degree, which they might not ever use again if they decide that they like Python better, for example. And so we prefer more of a point and click for the first year to focus more on the principles of what they're doing without digging deeply into the technical detail of how that happens. And particularly for this assignment, because at this point in the subject, they're only doing exploratory data analysis. So there's no actual hypothesis testing part of this assignment, because they won't even know how to do that yet. However, they do still need to apply their statistical knowledge from their first 3 weeks of the subject. and they need to communicate and justify their analysis of the data. And we do this as a group assignment also, which we found really good. It cuts down on the number of assignments you have to mark by half, but actually there's a lot of other advantages as well. In setting something like this as a group assignment, we find it really changes the dynamics as far as things like academic integrity, because if they want to ask one of the other students for help, they've got a student they can ask. It's their other team member. Also, they tend to police each other as far as actually getting the work done. And so that's quite good to have as a first assignment in the subject, because they're chasing each other up. So that sort of means that there's less time that you need to spend chasing the students to participate in the subject. And then that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the subject. So with this authentic data experience, this fits into something that we've been pushing at Wollongong, which is work integrated learning. So we have a whole sort of hierarchy of different stages of work integrated learning. And appropriately, this fits in at foundational will, which involves tasks that you would be expected to perform as a professional in the field, but without any direct interaction with industry at this point. But this then scaffolds to later subjects where they might, say in their final year of their degree, have some direct contact with industry, or at least be working on projects that have been proposed by industry partners. But then having this in the first year means that they have skills that they've developed that they can draw on later on. So the specific data set that I'm talking about is the Citi Bike data, and I'll just, hopefully this works. So this is available for download, and they're just zipped CSV files. So depending what level you want your students to be at, as far as the data side of things, you can either just point them at this website and have them download it themselves, but I will warn you that these files are quite large. What we actually do is provide the students with an Excel file that contains their data. The other thing is, to keep this manageable at a first year level, we're going to take a sample of this data. And the sample that we always use, at least so far, has been the first Wednesday in May and the first Saturday in May, which are not necessarily in that order every year. And so there's 2 days of data in their data set, and the research questions then are around using exploratory data analysis to compare a weekday and a weekend usage of this bike rideshare service, and then draw conclusions from that. Now, something that we do provide the data to them. Part of the assignment is that each student sets the random seed in SPSS using their student ID number, and then draws a subsample from each day. So although in the original data, it's quite an unbalanced design, there's a lot more trips on the weekday than the weekend, but then they draw a random sample from Wednesday and a random sample from Saturday, and usually it's like 100 rows from each, so that then they have a balanced sample. But for example, if you're wanting to do this in the sort of random assignment generation framework, you could very much do that for the students ahead of time, and then each pair of students would have a unique data set to analyse that you'd actually generated for them. But we find it valuable in this assignment to actually have the students figure out how to draw a random sample themselves. And the variables in the data set include, so the ones that we use are the start and end date and time of the trip using this bike share system. So when it's logged in and then when it's logged back off again. And then from there, we calculate the duration of the trip. So part of the data cleaning involves checking that the durations that are calculated match the difference between the times, which is a pretty advanced thing to do in SPSS. But this is actually one of the things that they can do in Excel and still meet the learning outcomes at this point, depending on whether they want to calculate the difference between the two date times in Excel or in SPSS is still fine. The type of bike, so I'm not sure exactly what classic is, but docked bikes are fairly common in a lot of cities. And then they've also recently introduced electric bikes as well. So that's a qualitative variable, nominal variable in the data. And then also the type of user, whether they're a member of this bike share and have like a subscription, or whether they're casual and paying a different price for their share. Yeah, and these are so this year we had about 2,000 rows on Wednesday and about 500 on Saturday. So this is why now when we subsample, we only take a sample of 100. When we originally did this in 2018, we took a sample of 200. But as you can imagine, these numbers in 2020 and 2021 were not as big as this. And so we changed our sample size so that there was still enough randomness in our students. I've already mentioned this is the first assignment for this subject. However, they have already done 3 computer labs, which are now run face-to-face, although the previous 2 years, those labs were online. And also 4 tutorials, which cover the mathematical theory, which is also part of this assignment. So it's not all about just clicking the button in SPSS and getting the output and pasting it into Word. They do have to think about what that output means and try and explain that in their own words. So there's a bunch of different topics. So types of data, we get them to set up in SPSS because they read it in from Excel. Then they need to set up in SPSS which things are nominal and which are ordinal, and then report that in their report. As I mentioned, the concepts of populations and sampling. So we treat the raw data as the population, and then they create the sample themselves when we set the assignment, although you could do it differently. They do need to transform some of these variables. So I've mentioned taking the difference between the 2 date time things in SPSS. We also, at one point, actually then take the log transform of the time, of the trip time. And then they sort of need to discuss the difference in the shape of the distribution between the log time and the original time. And they do other things like...
If you transform the data, that's just changing it from times to electric time.
Well, it's right. So going from the 2 times to the duration, then going from that duration to the log duration. And there's another thing that we get them to do, which is approximate the distance travelled just using a fixed sort of average kilometres per hour of a cyclist multiplied by that duration. So there's quite a bit of variable transformation in the assignment, and then at each stage it's sort of like comparing what the answer they got, does that make sense, sort of sanity checking the output from SPSS to see if it was what they expected. And some of that is to do with these numerical summaries, means and medians, and so on, as well as graphical summaries, histograms and box plots of this data. So by now they know how to do side-by-side box plots comparing Wednesday and Saturday, for example. And then at the end, they need to write a meaningful paragraph to communicate their conclusions of their analysis. And what they're asked to do is each student in the pair writes their own paragraph, and then they collaborate to sort of put that together into a single paragraph that they're both happy with. How well that works is a different matter, but this is again, so this idea of a meaningful paragraph is something that's also comes up in later assessments, including their final exam, being able to summarize a statistical conclusion in words. And so this actually, this one assignment relates to a lot of learning outcomes, not only for the subject, but also for the entire degree. So it's building skills that are going to come up again and again in later subjects. And in particular, both these learning outcomes are for the Bachelor of Data Science at Wollongong, but also all of our Bachelor of Mathematics students do this subject as well. And all of these students need to do a capstone report at the end of their degree. And so these skills of report writing, they're going to need, regardless of what major they choose, they're going to be need to be able to write a conclusion and justify it in words and lay things out as a report. So they're the main things that I wanted to mention about this stuff, that I'm happy to take in questions.